Let me ask you a question. Have you ever taken your kiddo to the pediatrician for constipation and the solution that you walked out of their office with was MiraLAX? You were told that it was safe, you were told it was common, you were told lots of kiddos actually are taking this, but then something strange started to happen. Your kiddo's behavior started to change. More meltdowns, more anxiety, more emotional outbursts. And you started asking yourself, is this stuff connected? But when you bring it back up to the doctor that just prescribed it, you were told that it's unrelated, or you were told constipation is just normal in kids. But here's something that most parents are never actually told, is that MiraLAX is not FDA approved for children under the age of 17. And for over years, the FDA has received reports from parents describing neurological and behavioral side effects in some children. Now, before we go even further, this video is not about telling you to stop taking medications or ignoring your doctor's advice. This video, though, is something much deeper, because constipation in kids is rarely just a digestive problem. It's usually a nervous system problem. And once parents understand this, everything else starts to make sense. So this video today is for parents whose kids struggle with chronic constipation, frequent stomach pain, digestive issues that keep coming back, especially if your kiddo has been on MiraLAX or other sorts of laxatives. And especially if you've wondered, why does this keep happening? Why does the problem keep coming back? And what are we actually missing? So let me tell you a story about, actually a very similar story about a family that we currently take care of. And we hear it actually all the time with other families, is that a mom came into our office because of her son. He struggled with constipation since he was a baby. His pediatrician prescribed MiraLAX. At first, it seemed to help. Everything was more regular. Stools started to soften. But then something unexpected started to happen. He became more anxious, more irritable. He began having emotional outbursts that didn't match his personality. And his mom kept asking herself, is something else going on? Something deeper going on? But no one could even explain it. And that's where she started asking a deeper question. What if constipation wasn't actually the problem? What if constipation was just a symptom? So here's what we need to do. We need to zoom out, because digestion is not controlled by the digestive system alone. Digestion is controlled by the nervous system. Think of the nervous system like air traffic controller of the body. It coordinates every single action: breathing, heart rate, immune response, digestion. And when the nervous system is balanced, digestion flows naturally. But when the nervous system is stuck in a stressed mode, the digestive system slows down, because the body prioritizes survival, not digestion. And this is why chronic constipation is often so many times connected to the nervous system and how dysregulated it is. Now we're going to start talking about MiraLAX. MiraLAX works through a process called osmosis. It pulls water into the intestines to soften the stool, and this can help create bowel movements. But it doesn't restore the body's natural digestive coordination. It bypasses the system. A bit like pressing the gas pedal while the parking brake is on. You might get movement, but the underlying system is still stuck, which is why so many kids stay dependent on laxative for years, and why constipation often returns the moment the medication stops. So why does the nervous system become dysregulated in the first place? In our office, we call this the perfect storm. It is the combination of stressors that affect the nervous system early in life. It often begins during pregnancy. Prenatal stress can expose a developing baby to elevated stress hormones. And then comes birth, whether it's C-section, forceps, vacuum delivery, long labors. All of these can place stress on the upper cervical spine of the kiddo, and that's right where the vagus nerve exits the brainstem. The vagus nerve that lives up here travels all the way down into our digestive system and is responsible for controlling that. Then early childhood stressors add even more layers: antibiotics, illness, environmental toxins, sleep disruption. Each of these stressors add on top of the other until eventually the system becomes overwhelmed and digestion begins to break down. This is where our approach becomes different. Instead of guessing, we measure the nervous system. Instead of winging it, we use insight scans that can actually evaluate the nervous system. Heart rate variability, thermal patterns, muscle tension along the spine. And these scans help us see whether the nervous system is stuck in that stressed out mode. Then, once we have that information, through gentle neurological adjustments, we work to restore balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. In simple terms, we help the body shift from fight or flight into rest and digest. And digestion is often one of the first systems to improve, which is awesome. So when that mom brought in her son, his scans showed clear signs of sympathetic dominance. His nervous system was stuck in that stress mode. Through neurologically focused care, his nervous system began to regulate again. His bowel movements improved, his stomach pain decreased, and the behavior changes that we were worried about at the beginning started calming down. Not because we treated constipation, but because we addressed the system controlling digestion. So parents, I hear you. Parents are trying so hard with special diets and supplements, probiotics, detoxes, and none of these things are wrong, but sometimes families are simply working in the wrong order. The foundation has to come first, and then that foundation of the body is the nervous system, and then that can help control everything up the line. So if your child is struggling with chronic constipation, if you feel like you've tried everything and the problem keeps coming back over and over and over again, it may be time to look deeper. So click the link in our bio, all right? Send us a DM or schedule a consultation with us at True North Chiropractic, because when the nervous system starts functioning better, everything else finally has the chance to work the way it was designed to. And every kiddo deserves that.